everyone, old school Pokemon here, back again with podcast episode number 21, joined by my usual co-host, Catch 'em All Collectibles, Dan. How we doing tonight, Dan?
Doing very well. How are you?
I am doing well. So we got a whole bunch of questions to answer tonight, so we'll go ahead and hop right into it and start with the first question that we have. So my first question for the night is from Hawkeye Bro. What are you guys, or where are you guys on the EX era? EX Team Rocket returns to EX Power Keepers for graded reverse hollows from those sets. They can be hard to find in good condition along with the EX cards as they seem to scratch easily. So I would agree with you, or with Hawkeye Bro, on the EX cards. I think those cards in high grades are truly hard to find because, like you had mentioned there, the hollow portion, even around like the silver borders around the edges, those scratch really easily. So getting those cards in a high grade, I think, is genuinely tough to find, especially nowadays. But the hollows and the reverse hollows, I would agree with you to some extent where they are fairly tough to find, but I almost think the pricing on those cards is a little bit too high right now. Those cards were so cheap for the longest time, and it wasn't until just recently where the pricing kind of took off on those cards. So I think the population of those cards, like PSA population of those cards, is really, really low right now. But I would not be surprised in the slightest if we saw some dramatic increases in the pop reports on those cards now that they actually have value and are worth submitting into PSA. What do you think on that one?
Yeah, my short answer was going to be that I like selling them because they are worth quite a bit of money. So I don't collect reverse hollows. Like I've binder sets of every English set, base set, first edition to current. I do not collect reverse hollows at all. Modern sets, I don't collect the fireworks from Legendary Collection, none of the EX era. I will say though, out of all the reverse hollows, I just don't generally like them overall. I don't like what they do to the binder either. Because if you do front back, then you've got like the ultra rares that don't have a reverse hollow. Mm-hmm. So then it just like throws off the flow of the binder. So that said, the EX era reverses, specifically the ones that have the stamped set name, I do kind of like those. So like way down the line, long term, I might keep some of my favorite cards, some of my favorite Pokemon in PSA 9 graded, the reverse hollows. But other than that, like I don't keep them in my binder. And kind of like Nick was saying, I feel like they're fairly expensive. So I'm just happy to move them now at market price. Never anything I'm going to put in my binder, but they're pretty cool. There's just tens of thousands of cool cards, and those are low enough on my list overall that I'm not a huge fan personally.
You're not a fan of the Legendary Collection reverse hollows?
They're fine, but I don't keep them in my collect. Just reverse hollows in general, I've completely written them off, and I don't touch them.
That's one set that I really, really enjoy. I love the reverse hollow Legendary Collection.
They're fine. Like they're better than modern reverse hollows, but I just don't, especially given the price on those. I remember at 2019 Worlds, he wanted a card to get signed, and I sold him like a PSA. I think I sold him a PSA 9 Legendary Collection reverse Charizard for like a few $100s, which at the time it was like it was market price, and now that's like a few $1,000s. They've really, and I didn't value it the few $100s it sold for then. I certainly don't value it anywhere near what they sell for now. So again, I'm happy to sell legendary reverses as well.
I remember even when I got back into Pokemon, back in 2009, 2010. I always thought that those were like stickers. I never did not realize those were actual like cards.
Yeah.
Because they look like the stickers that you can pull from vending machines. But so my next question comes from the Green Shiz. He asks, question for the next podcast. If you were both stranded in the forest, who survives longer and why? I'm going to go, I'm not even going to pretend that I am an outdoorsman, and I'm going to go right to Dan and say that he survives longer. Yeah, I do not like the outdoors whatsoever. My uncle has a cabin way up in Maine that's in the middle of nowhere, and my cousins are always asking me to go up with them in the summertime, and I could never spend more than a couple days up there because I'm addicted to my phone, and they don't have phone service up there, and it's fun for a couple days for me, but after a couple days I go absolutely insane. So yeah, I would go with Dan on that one.
I was hoping this one would be like a little bit of an argument and back and forth. I wanted to make my case why it would be me.
You want to bust out your Boy Scout survival skills?
Yeah. And now you just handed it to me, so I'm like completely thrown off. We didn't rehearse this one at all. We didn't talk about it at all. We just left it there. And but yeah,
well, you could make the argument that would be me.
I live in the woods, and I lifetime hunting, fishing license holder in New York, even though I haven't gone in several years now. I know my way around the middle of nowhere pretty well because I live there. So I think I'd do well. You ever watch the show? I had friends who loved Man vs. Wild.
I used to love that show. That was a fun show.
I hated that show.
What?
With Bear Grylls?
Yeah, yep.
Because that was just bad recommendations, bad advice, just all around a bad show. Survivor Man with Les Stroud. Did you ever watch that?
Was that the one with both the guys? Oh no, that was Dual Survival.
One guy would go out. He was his own camera crew. He literally would just be dropped off for a week. He'd do his own camera work. Like he'd hike half a mile to set up some camera so that he could like walk across the horizon. Certain ones he'd leave and they'd pick it up later, I think. But I loved Survivor Man. I hated Man vs. Wild because Survivor Man was just like more real. Like he was actually doing it. He wasn't like staying in a hotel at night. And then like he just a really cool, so anyone looking for like a survival type show, he'd set up these situations, I think similar to Man vs. Wild, just good instead.
So I'm screwed right off the bat because I watched Bear Grylls instead of the
you're
other
gonna
guy.
be taking all his advice and you're gonna be dead. Like you're gonna use his advice, and then unlike him, you're not gonna go to the restaurant for dinner, and you're not gonna go to the hotel. Nice warm cozy bed. So see, I had my whole argument like ready to go, and I was gonna man.
No, I'm not scared to admit defeat.
I like it though. I like the question.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Camping too, a lot of camping growing up. But yeah, we'll get to the next one. So Admiral M asks, what is the best looking level X card and why is it Gengar? It is Gengar because Gengar. I mean, Gengar is one of my favorite. Honorable mention, Snorlax back here. There's some pretty solid level X arts, and they're interesting because, at least me, I deal in primarily WotC and Modern. You don't see the middle era too frequently. So another question that kind of continuation. Also, why do you think level X cards haven't increased in pop much compared to EX series and more modern cards? Are they a weird middle child? Absolutely. Well, one, I think more so than level X even, or more so than EX era even, or I guess less so. I think they were the lowest print run in the hobby. EX era was significantly lower print run than WotC and Modern, but I think that Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Platinum, Diamond, and Pearl, I think those ones were like the bottom. I don't know exactly where the bottom is, but I think it's somewhere in there. So that's part of it. And then the other part of it is like you've got a lot of guys our age, late 20s, early 30s, that were like big into WotC, and we're just at those ages where we've got a lot more capital, and the ones in the level X era, they're just that much younger, that much less disposable income. And yeah, I some of the pops really do astound me. It's not surprising that they're substantially lower than WotC or Modern, but they're like even lower than I would guess. It is really interesting, and it's something I've had my eye on a little bit more recently. I kind of want to make some plays, try to buy some more middle era collections. I just haven't had the time to devote to seeking those out, and talking to some people who do frequently seek those out. It's pretty dry out there with those. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. What's your favorite level X?
So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna disagree with who asked this question. It was
Admiral.
I'm gonna disagree with you there, Admiral. Gengar is a good one, but for me personally, I was looking at these beforehand because I really don't know all the level X's. But I would go with Raichu as my number one, and then close behind that would be Mewtwo. Just in terms of artwork, I thought those two were really, really cool. So Gengar is not the best. It's Raichu, and then Mewtwo, and then Gengar. but yeah, like I was saying, I'm not good with that whole mid era. I know WotC like the back of my hand. EX era, I'm starting to pick up a little bit more, but that whole level X, Prime, all those mid-era type cards, I'm absolutely terrible with. I don't
the Call of Legends, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't pay much attention to that era whatsoever. There's just too much that you could chase within Pokemon. You gotta have a kind of a specialty, I guess, or you'll just be all over the place. And for me, that mid era is definitely not my specialty. But what was the other part of that question? Why do you think level X cards
pops
feast and pop? I would probably just agree with what you said there. They are just that weird middle child. And then there really aren't too many of them. I've purchased a few, like, just kind of scattered collections that have a little bit of everything, and it's always the majority of the collection is either WotC or Modern, and then kind of in second place it's EX era or like the XY era, and then there's always the fewest cards are from that whole mid era. So I do believe that, like what you were saying, those are kind of the lowest print runs from that era, and those cards are actually there is an actual scarcity to those cards, but then again there are fewer people who are collecting those cards as well. So that's what I would say for that question right there. My next question is kind of a long one. Let me just write something down real quick. So it comes from Omi Yen. Probably butchered your name
Omega
there.
Yen. he won one of my giveaways. I think he won the finale. I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, congratulations for winning the giveaway there. But he asks, so curious what you guys do about or think is the best response to this scenario. When you buy a bunch of single Pokemon cards in one order, the seller accidentally sends a few cards that were not in your order and forgets to send a few cards that were in your order. As a buyer, I have run into this several times this year. Should the buyer send the cards the seller mistakenly sent and the seller then mail the correct card? Or should the seller just issue a refund for the cards that were not sent and the buyer keeps the mistakenly sent cards, or some other approach? What do you guys think is best? / how do you handle these situations? So, first off, it would depend on like the value of the cards that you're talking about. If you're talking like something super, super high end, my answer would be different. But because I deal with the low end, that's how I'm going to answer this question. So we're going to say it's a card that's like a cheapish card, like 99 cents to $20, I would say. So in this case, if I'm the seller, I ship the buyer the wrong cards. The buyer reaches out to me saying, "Hey, you sent the wrong cards to me." I always offer two different options. First off, I offer so I say, in whichever case the buyer keeps the cards that I mistakenly sent them. So that's always just a free gift on my part. But in addition to that, I also offer either a refund on the cards that they didn't receive. So I'll give them a full refund on those cards, or I give them the option to, if I still have those cards available, I give them the option that I'll mail those cards to you as well. So you're either getting a full refund on the cards that you didn't receive and you're keeping the cards that you did receive, or I'm going to mail you the cards that you didn't receive and you're keeping the cards that you did receive. Hopefully that makes sense. But
Yeah.
how would you handle that situation?
Yeah, so from the buyer's end, I don't think I've ever really run into this. If it was really cheap stuff, as you said, if it's like I ordered these $5 worth of cards, but I got these five, I'd probably just like leave it. I guess if I wanted to message them though, if I really needed the other cards and no one else really had them or something, I'd just say, "Hey, look, I got this handful. I was supposed to get these ones." And then just like leave it up to the seller how they want to rectify it. Because if you just propose like, "Hey, can I send these back and get the proper ones?" they might agree to that and do that. But if you leave it open, like Nick does, like I would probably do, they might just say, "Oh, keep those ones as freebies. I'll send you the proper ones you were supposed to get." Because similarly, I mean, I do make mistakes. There's times where I'm supposed to send out a PSA 9. Actually, just this one just happened the other day. I was supposed to send out, I think, a CGC 8.5 cracked ice Swampert from Hydro Fury, I think it was, theme deck. And then there was a different cracked ice Swampert from a different deck, or maybe it was like just an alternate foil promo. I mixed up two Swamperts somehow. I told the guy to keep it. It was like a $18 card, and I just shipped out the other one for free. And then I'm glad he reached out to me, because I pulled the other one off, so I didn't have somebody buy the one and then I didn't have it. So I guess reaching out to the seller is good, just so they can straighten out their inventory either way. But yeah, that's pretty much it on that one, I think.
Yeah, that's a big point. Is definitely I would definitely reach out to the seller. Even if it's like, even if like you don't care, it's not a big deal. You're fine to keep the cards that you received. I would still reach out to the seller, because I would never notice that mistake until I had someone purchase that card that I mailed, the wrong card that I mailed the buyer, and I no longer had it in my inventory.
There's been times where I'm going to pull an order and the card, it's just like, I know where it would be. I check through everything. It's not there. And it's like, well, who did I send that to? And what did they order? What am I going to run into next? And it's like, well, probably somebody bought a $20 card and I sent a $50 one. So then they didn't say anything. And it's like,
that is
kind of
true.
sucks, but it is what it is. The next question, interestingly, will actually tie into a similar thing. So
do you ever do, speaking of like missing eBay inventory, do you ever do like an inventory, like go through everything that you have listed and compare it to what you actually have?
I have, and it sucks. My organization is getting better, but it's not great. And now, like, most recent video on my channel was how I manage having multiples. because like this card, I've got so many, only one is listed at a time in each grade. So I've got like these 100 row boxes, one 100 row or not 100 row boxes, but the shoe boxes that hold like roughly 100 graded cards. Some of those equate to 100 listings. Some of those equate to 3 listings. So it's like doing the whole inventory. And then as I list it, did I delete the wrong photos or the right photos? I used to do it more frequently, like maybe every 6 months or so when I had 200 listings and it sucked. And now I have 1,200 listings.
And even more.
Probably not going to do an inventory anytime soon.
No.
So please, if I send you a $50 card and you only bought a $15 one, please tell me. You can keep it. I'm not going to ask for it back. I just want to fix my inventory. Send me a picture of what I sent you. I'm talking in my 10-year history. There was probably one time that someone was like, hey, you sent me the wrong card. It was like the grade higher or something. And no need to return it. Like they ordered this in a 10 or in a 9 and I sent a 10 accidentally. And I'm like, thanks for keep it. Like, thank you. I can straighten out my inventory, whatever. Keep it. I appreciate it. And I mean, we'll get into it in this nenext one. But
I was gonna say you're leading yourself right into a trap for this next question. Because that is gonna be my key point. I wrote my thesis for this next question.
No.
So the next question comes from Daniel C. He says, there was a post on E4 about 2 months ago of someone who bought 1 booster box and the seller sent them 2 by accident without realizing the mistake. The E4 poster asked, what would you do in that situation? And the answers were divided. Dan responded to that thread. In my opinion, the shopping cart theory does not apply here. The buyer is only responsible for paying. That's it. This example is also arguably above a cashier misconnecting the bills they hand you. You're right, or you're both right there, and it's happening quickly. If a seller is so busy, they don't even realize they sent you double what they should have before they ship it out the door. They need to hire more or better employees. The only argument I can see is treat others how you wish to be treated, but even then you could argue it was my mistake, the buyer owes me nothing. Worth noting that PFM linked an article about the $900 million mistake, where a bank accidentally transferred $900 million they shouldn't have, and when they tried to legally get it back, the court basically told them, your mistake, tough luck. So there's a lot of stuff in that question right there. But first off, that E4 thread was pretty good, but that whole $900 million mistake article, that was an interesting read. I don't know if you read that one.
I did, and I guess I'll let you go first. Let's address that first, because I actually was going to start there
with the article.
Just give the synopsis, give the TLDR for people who didn't read it, if you remember it.
Well, as far as I remember, it was basically just a bank transferred $900 million to someone's account. That person didn't say anything to the bank. When the bank tried to get it back, the person argued that they weren't going to give it back. And then when the bank tried to bring it to court, the original person didn't have to actually return that money.
So you got the wrong summary of it.
What?
It was like the way that Scott represented it and the way that a lot of the articles about it intended it to be received. Mm-hmm. Super clickbaity, misrepresenting it. So what had actually happened is, I forget the company now, but I spent like half an hour reading articles and watching a couple short videos on this. So this bank was making like a bond payment. They were paying back a loan on behalf of some company that owed $900 million to a whole pool of lenders. Well, instead of making I don't remember how much the payment was, but the $900 million was to be paid back over 3 years. Instead of making the one monthly payment, so I guess 900 divided by 36 months might have been around $25 million. Instead of making the monthly $25 million payment, they accidentally sent the whole thing. So it's not like Bank A sent it to Bank B, who had no relationship, and then like this bank just, oh, yeah, we get $900 million now. No, that money would go back legally. But that's what clickbait, that's what like makes a bigger, better article, and kind of, I think that's what Scott was trying to use to prove the point, or whatever he was trying to prove with it. But yeah, what had actually happened was there's some law in New York where if the recipient can reasonably believe that they were intended to receive it, and in this case they could, like basically, hey, they owe us this. They don't owe us it all now, but they just paid like 3 years of loan payments to pay it off early. I mean, people pay off loans early.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 15-year mortgage on my house, and I paid it off in a year. So like if I called and I said, oh, I need that money back, I didn't mean to, they'd be like, tough luck. You owed us it. You just paid it back really early. We're not going to give it back. Yep. But if my bank wired my mortgage payoff to the wrong people, that would legally come back 100% of the time. So that was, I just wanted to get that all out there because that was a silly, clickbaity, misrepresented situation.
Yeah, I misread that whole article then.
No, you probably, when I read the first article, it was like just a clickbaity, short, crappy article. And I'm like, there's no way this can be real. So I dug into it deep, and then I found like the real story it's an interesting story still, but it's not like as interesting. Like it just makes people dream. Maybe one day there'll be $900 million in my bank and I can keep it.
Well, I've been checking my bank account every day since I read that, and still nothing.
So yeah, sorry to go off on that whole tirade there, but I feel like I had to, because I don't think anyone else, I think, I don't know. It was just annoying how terrible the articles were talking about that.
And what is the shopping cart theory too? I'd never heard of that one.
The shopping cart theory. So I hope we might have to end the podcast, but you return your shopping carts when you're done, right? Oh no. You leave them floating around in the parking lot?
I'll put them on like the like, you know how there's like dividers.
Sorry guys, we won't see you in 2 weeks. I always return mine back. Basically, let me just Google it so I don't misrepresent it, but it's basically the shopping cart is the ultimate litmus test for whether a person is capable of self-governing. To return the shopping cart is an easy, convenient task, and one which we all recognize as the correct, appropriate thing to do. So basically, like the people who don't return the shopping carts, how easy it is, how little like it, and how just beneficial it is to people like not getting their cars dinged up and stuff. Basically, like you're a bad person if you don't return the shopping cart. is the general thing of it. Here's another shortened version. The shopping cart is what determines whether a person is a good or bad member of society.
Oh, damn it. No, I'd say I'm 50-50. If it's close, I'll put it there. But if there's a nice little grassy patch, I can throw it on.
Grassy patch is better than, because I mean I've had my car dinged by shopping carts. I drive cars that don't really matter if they get dinged by shopping carts, but still, it's an annoying thing, and it can be. I mean, body shops these days, cars these days. A shopping cart hitting the wrong spot in your car and catching 2 panels, that can be $2,000 or $3,000 without even thinking about it. So yeah, really got off track there and got into different things. But if you want to get into your end of the whole box, we know where you're going with it now because you don't even return your shopping cart.
So the actual question was someone bought a booster box. The seller shipped them 2 booster boxes instead of 1 booster box, the one that they had ordered. And basically the question is, is it the buyer's responsibility to reach out to the seller, or should the buyer reach out to the seller and say that they received 2 booster boxes? In my opinion, I don't think so. I don't think that the buyer has any type of obligation or should reach out to the seller if they don't want to. I think it's up to the individual, up to the buyer. In an ideal world where everyone is perfect,
Where
yes,
everyone returns their shopping carts.
yes, you should reach out to the seller and rectify the situation. But we do not live in an ideal world. Like we were saying in the previous question, I know for certain that I have shipped the wrong card to some buyer. And the only time that I hear from those buyers is if they purchased an expensive card and I shipped them a cheap card. If I shipped them an expensive card and they ordered a cheap card, I could probably count on one hand the number of times that person's actually reached out to me and said, hey, you shipped the wrong card to me. Let me mail this back to you. And you just mail the right card back to me. 99% of the time that does not happen. So my philosophy is, if you get lucky enough as a buyer where you order something and you receive double the amount or whatever, I don't think it's your responsibility to reach out to the seller. Now, if the seller reaches out to you and says, hey, I accidentally shipped you 2 booster boxes, I meant to ship you 1, I think that's a different story. I think in that case, you can work with the seller. But where it's something that the seller's probably not going to notice in this case, I wouldn't have any problem keeping that booster box for myself.
So what if you bought like a base unlimited box for 12 grand and somehow some alternate reality, they send you a base first edition box?
I think I would say anything. Nope. Truth is coming out here.
That's obviously to the level of absurdity. It's never going to happen. But
yeah,
I completely disagree. And I think that everyone on the side of you should reach out to the seller and tell them are people who return their shopping carts. And I think I think that you can ask someone that whole E4 thread. If you went through and you asked, do you return your shopping cart to the corral every time? The people who were saying yes, there would be a strong correlation between those people and the people who would message the seller. And what I said in the thread was, I would message the seller, and there's a pretty decent chance. Like if I was the seller, if I accidentally sent you 2 boxes, I would say, I really appreciate you reaching out. Keep it. Like, thank you. I'm going to straighten out my inventory. Merry Christmas. Like, keep it. I would be shocked by it and I would really appreciate it. But honestly, like if I was the recipient, I would just say, hey, I don't know if I don't know what happened, but I got 2 of these, only having bought 1. And I'd let them, I wouldn't propose anything. I would just wait and see. And if they said at your own cost, go to the post office right now, mail it right back to me at your cost, blah, like stupid stuff like that, I'm going to be like, screw off. Now you're going to pay me $30 an hour for all these messages back and forth. And you're going to send a label and then I'll send it back. Like, but generally speaking, I think they'd be like, I was trying to think if it had ever happened. I don't think it has, but the most likely scenario, I think they would either say, keep it, or, you know what? I could have sworn it happened at one point, and it just came to me. A distributor. So it wasn't even like an eBay seller. A distributor mid-transit reached out to me and they said, hey, we sent you an extra, I think they sent me an extra booster case.
Man.
Booster case or ETB case. This was early on, like 6 years ago, probably 2015. This just like came to me because I was trying to think of scenarios and I couldn't earlier. And I think what we arranged was they were going to send, like, they were talking about sending me a label, putting it right back to them. And I'm just like, hey, I'd kind of like that anyways. Can you just give it to me for like 10% off what I'd normally pay? Like basically just that minus ship, whatever. And they did. So like the seller might come to you and say, hey, it's yours for free. Thank you. They might say, here's a prepaid label. Could you please just send it back out? And depending on where you live and depending, I think it would be reasonable. Like for me, if I had to go to a UPS or a FedEx, that's 20 minutes away. So if they would only, like, if they wouldn't give me a USPS return label, I would say I want $30 gas money and time. Like that's a big hassle for me. Or I'd offer to buy the box for like $50 if it was $100, $80 box, whatever. So somewhere in between like that. But so there's intricacies and there's different ways that it could fork and turn and whatever. But like always you reach out and you just say, like, I've been handed an extra 20. It's been years since I've used cash, but like years ago, I've been handed an extra 20 by the cashier, whether it's Walmart, because that's what some people were doing. Some people were saying, oh, was it somebody doing it on the side? Did they have less than 50 listings? Did they have less than 50 feedback? Or was it like Troll and Toad? Oh, if it's Troll and Toad, screw them, screw the man, the big corporation, blah, blah, blah. And whether it's Walmart, whether it's the local mom and pop store on the corner, I return the extra 20. I send the booster box. I don't believe in karma. I'm not like a religious person. I just, you do the right thing. That's my take on it. Like, that's just, I'm not worried of some being judging me and like sending me to the bad place because of the decision. But like, I just think you do the right thing to other people. You put away your shopping cart, you message them about the extra box.
See, I agree with the philosophy, but just knowing the actuality of what actually happens with 99% of people makes me spiteful.
When I see, actually, it was like 2 months ago, maybe, when I see someone leave a cart, I'll like hurry up to it and grab it.
Mhm.
And then I'll like, I don't say anything. Like, I don't want to get myself stabbed or shot or something, but I'll make sure they see me taking it. And I'll like slowly walk in a path around or beside their car, give them the glance. And I'll either take it into the store with me and use that cart if I'm going in. If I'm going out, like I'll put it back. That recently happened when I went to the bank. Right next to my bank, there's like a grocery store, and it's just like, I don't want to get too in depth, but like the people that it was doing it, and like kid in the back seat smoking a cigarette with a kid in the back, like just I let out a big huff and took the cart back for him.
What a stand-up citizen you are.
Be the change you want to see in the world, right?
I don't know. I will say though, I forgot to mention my caveat was I do think there is a difference between small, like mom and pop shops, and your big conglomerates. If it was like Rusty, someone I deal with regularly, a small time seller, that does change the scenario for me versus someone that's an actual business. Here's a scenario for you, which I have a feeling I know your answer. A couple years ago, I ordered one of the mini Alexas off of Amazon for $25. I got the package, and I got 2 of the big Alexas and 2 of the little Alexas. Would you have messaged Amazon and said, not me, no?
I'm trying to think of like just to be like completely open and not, I'm trying to think about like the worst thing I've done with respect to that. And one instance comes to mind.
Forgot to bring an apple to your teacher one day.
Yeah. No, years ago, probably 5-6 years ago again, somebody had pretty cheap base unlimited booster packs, supposedly unweighed on eBay. And I didn't really believe it. So I bought like 4 of them. or maybe 6 of them. I bought like 6 of them, and I'm like, statistically speaking, I could have gotten bad luck and not gotten a single hollow, but let me try my luck. I think they had like 36 listed too, so it almost felt like it could have been staged as somebody had a whole box. They had 2 boxes, weighed out the heavies, put the lights together. I tested it. I got black triangle packs.
Sweet.
They were using a stock photo of the packs, and it didn't show as a black triangle. So I bought them all. 2 or 3 of them were heavy too. So it was like they were legitimate unweighed.
Nice.
So in a way, like, did I have an obligation to say these are more rare, you could get more money? Back then, the premium, it wasn't substantial. Like I'm trying to say like the grimiest thing I did, I guess. Like there would probably be people like further, because everything's a spectrum. So we're far, but like there would be people even further than me. Oh, you're evil for not having immediately given them a bunch more money and telling them to fix their listing. And at the end of the day, I might have gotten across the 36 packs. Man, I could probably find it if I looked back on my eBay. I mean, I should be able to. They weren't labeled black triangle, but I could probably find a period where I bought like so many base unlimited packs. But yeah, some people would say I was very, very wrong for not having paid them more. I've heard people make, I think, a really bad argument too. Like, what do you do on Craigslist? Somebody's selling $500 their whole Pokemon collection. So it's an adult who priced the listing, and you go and it's like a $5,000 collection. You know you're gonna like 10 extra money. Do you pay them more because of it? I don't. If they set the price and I pay it,
that's just getting a good deal.
Yeah, like I don't volunteer more. I mean, there's some amount of risk in anything you buy, anything like that. But some people would say that's wrong and evil too. Like, oh, you just scammed them because you bought, like, you're gonna 10 extra money instead of. I mean, some people get really silly with the whole modern scalping. Oh, you shouldn't be able to sell a booster box for more than, or you shouldn't be able to sell the ultra premium collection for more than retail. But then they don't have the problem with $90 booster boxes either under retail.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
Getting into the weeds a bit, but
I will redeem myself with another story that I thought of where I did the right thing. So a couple of years ago, I went to a card shop that was closing down. I actually went the last day they before they were shutting down. So it was a card shop I had never been to before. The owner didn't know me whatsoever. I went on the last day before the card shop closed. I worked with the owner to buy a collection from him. We spent like the whole afternoon going through cards, pricing them out, and so on and so forth. So the end of the day comes. He's tallying up what I owe him, and I've been doing the same thing, tallying everything up as well. So he says, okay, let me tally this up. He gets distracted, gets a phone call or something. So I tally my list up, and he's tallying his list up. And so he gets done with whatever distracted him. And he says, I forget the exact figures, but it was like, I got $10,000. And then he says, okay, well, it looks like you owe me $5,000 for everything. And from the way he said it, and just from like how hectic the afternoon was with just pricing everything, and he wasn't very organized. Numbers were just kind of scattered everywhere. I know that he would have never realized that it was supposed to be 10,000, not 5,000. And even if he did, like I said, don't know the guy. Never going to see him again because the shop's closing that day. But I did tell him. I think he made a mistake. It's supposed to be 10,000, not 5,000. So that's my redemption right there.
There we go. But if it was big, if it was like too big of a card store, if it was Dave and Adams, you would have just stuck it to him.
No, right? So something like that's different because he was already giving me good deals. Well, like he knew I was going to be reselling the cards, so he was pricing stuff at 50-60% of what I'd be able to sell it for. So we were already working out those deals, but Dave and Adams, they wouldn't give me good deals like that. So screw them.
We could go on. We could do a 3-hour podcast just about like all this morality and stuff surrounding this. But I think it generated good conversation.
That was a good question. I
know
enjoyed
how
that.
bad of a person you are now, and I know I know if we ever like go out and like in Vegas we didn't have cars, but if I'm ever like parking in the same parking lot as you, I know I'm gonna have to watch for carts. I'm gonna have to watch for loose carts. Good thing we don't shop at the same grocery store. We don't live in the same state. Otherwise my car would be all dinged up.
I'd figure out which car was yours and just chuck the cart right at your car.
Oh.
But that was a good question. That was a good one right there. I was looking forward to that question all.
Let us know in the comments below what you'd do.
Yeah, what would you guys do?
Message the seller or not, return the cart or not.
We had one. There was a response to this comment that was definitely in your favor. It was like extreme to your favor. So I'm curious to see what he's gonna say about me. I'll have a -1 for my subscribers.
Yep.
So yeah,
mine, I think now, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Nick has so many questions this time that he's doing 2 for my 1 because he has 10 and I have 5. So we have a long ways to go still. Buckle up. So the Green Shiz came over and asked a question on mine as well. If you guys could only watch one YouTube content creator for the rest of your lives, who would you pick and why? That's so tough. And we were talking before this, like I watch mostly Pokemon content. I don't watch too much else. And I love a lot of the content creators that I watch. I'm Pokemon, but one, I don't think I'm going to be doing this in 50 years. I'm not sure anyone else is that I watch. I need to watch something like some variety, some content creator that I don't even watch currently, because there's no one that makes like enough type of variety content. I guess maybe leave me suggestions for who you would watch for the rest of your life, because I guess I don't watch any creators currently that I could watch for the rest of my life.
That's too safe an answer.
Yeah. But that's an unsafe answer.
You just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
I probably hurt everyone's feelings with that. I hope no one would pick me either, because I couldn't watch myself for the rest of my life either. I mean, that's too much.
Well, now I really got to think.
I'd watch some sport. I love sports. I watch a lot of live sports. So like some compilation, somebody who does really good general, like broad, a lot of the main professional leagues, commentary, compilation, video things. I don't know if there's someone like that, but there probably is a lot of them. So maybe something like that.
Yeah. So for me, I actually watch more non-Pokemon related content on YouTube than I do Pokemon content. I watch a lot of Pokemon stuff on YouTube, but I also like a lot of like just generalized reselling on eBay channels, people that go to garage sales and stuff like that. And then I also there's a few other channels I watch too, but I took this question as far as Pokemon related, so I'll give 2 answers. If it's Pokemon related, I would have to go with Rusty, TCA Gaming. He'd be the one that I could watch. I religiously watch all of his videos.
He's turning into a variety channel lately.
He is. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
His commentary lately is actually funny on how he gets a little bit of flack when he talks about like non-Pokemon. Like his video yesterday was titled something like, "This one's mostly Pokemon" or something. And then there was some Metazoo in there.
But no, I've been watching. He's definitely the person that I've been watching the longest. And so I just continue that trend. Watch him forever. I could easily listen to him talk all day, every day. I am a huge TCA fan. But as far as non-Pokemon related content, another channel that I really look forward to is kind of like a prank slash comedy channel. It's called Ross Creations. They post every Monday. It's probably the only thing that I get to look forward to on Monday. And his videos are absolutely hysterical. Definitely recommend checking out that channel if you guys are interested. But it would be those two for me. So my next question is actually a whole bunch of questions in one. So we're gonna go ahead and rapid fire some of these, and then some of them they're actually decent questions. So we'll talk about a few of them too. But the first these questions all come from John Evolved Collections. First one he asks is, who has the cooler collection? Bring out the big guns. I'm gonna say we both have similar like set collections. Like we both have, to some extent, we have WotC set collections. I know your other collection is more higher end stuff, which I honestly, those cards are cool. But I'm not a big fan of that type of stuff. I'd never want them in my own collection. So for me, I'm gonna have to go with my own collection is the better one.
Yeah, and I think dollar wise and all that, we're probably relatively close. It's hard. I mean, depending on what you're calling collection, inventory, whatever. I think it's fair that we both like our own better. I mean, they've got our own personal flavor. We both got pretty massive collection inventories, and so yeah, me, mine, him, his. That's kind of what people would probably expect.
That was a fairly straightforward one. So second question, this one I'm curious to hear your answer. If PSA never closed, would you ever consider CGC? I would say no to that one.
I would have considered them. I probably would have thrown a few cards out. That said, a couple months ago, I said I was going to try HGA, AGS, a couple of these other ones. I said I was going to do that, and I never did. So maybe I wouldn't have. And honestly, I might be done sending the CGC altogether.
I'm thinking the same as you.
I'm gonna do a send off video on a couple PSA subs I'm sending out. I got 5 at the 50, and I'm doing like 8 at the 100. We can talk about that more later. Maybe this might be long to begin with, but PSA did open the $100 tier today to the general public. So yeah, I might just be done with CGC forever. And it'll be its own video, but yeah, I guess I'll get into it there.
Yeah, the pricing with CGC compared to PSA, even a year and a half into CGC being a legitimate grading company, it's just not there. CGC prices are dirt cheap compared to PSA prices, and now that I've been listing all the CGC cards that I got back in my return, because I was in for so cheap at 750 a card or whatever it was. It's fine for me. I'll do well with that stuff. But where CGC is 20 or 15, $20, depending on if you want subgrades now, I would be losing money on a lot of those cards if I submitted them under that pricing.
And it's even worse because I'm listing and selling so many CGC 8.5s that would be PSA 9s. Like yeah. I've graded thousands and thousands of PSA 9s. I know what they are. I know what they look like. Yeah. Like CGC 9 versus PSA 9, some of them are close, some of them are a little further. But the fact that some PSA 10s that would be 10s are getting CGC 9.5s and 9s, the price difference is massive what you're getting on these cards. And then, yeah, you're paying. The thing I liked most about CGC was the subgrades. That's a 67% upcharge now. It's $15 without subs, and it's $25 with. That's an insane premium to charge for subgrades. So I can't say it 100% definitively, but I am probably 95% done with them.
I would agree with you on that one. So question number 3. Are there any cards you regret grading with CGC? Waste of money / time, since you know the card could command much more of a price at PSA or in a PSA case. That's a tough one. For me, I don't really regret sending any cards to CGC, and the reasoning behind that is just because before I got my big CGC return back a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month ago now, my graded inventory was really, really low. So I am glad to have those cards in my inventory to be able to sell through them. And I haven't really submitted anything high end to CGC that I wish I had submitted into PSA. So I would say I am glad that I did submit those cards into CGC and I have them back now, at least so I have something. What would you say for that one?
I sent 4,000 or 5,000 cards to CGC, and if I could go back in time, I would have sent 80% of them to PSA. Getting the diversity a little bit, but yeah, I mean, my 9s are 8.5s, my 10s are 9s and 9.5s largely, and it just.
But if you had submitted them into PSA, you probably wouldn't have them back right now.
Oh, I definitely
that was my biggest reasoning why I was glad to have sent them to CGC.
Yeah, I mean, if I had in October 2020, when I was chucking a lot of cards to PSA, if I could see what the world looked like in 2021, I would have sent. I sent 5,000, 6,000 to PSA, and then 4,000 or 5,000 to CGC. I would have sent, like Charlie, 30,000 to PSA. But yeah, so regret's a big word. Like I'm not hurting with them. I'm making a slight margin on most all of them. I would have been better off though, either selling them raw or grading them with PSA for sure though.
Yeah.
So it's not like, yeah, it's not hurting. I don't know if I'd say that I regret it, but if I could go back, I wouldn't have done it. It was not the proper play.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I was very optimistic for CGC, and they're I think it's still going to take time, but so far I'm losing faith in CGC.
All that said, though, I'm probably not going to grade with them further. 95% of the cards I buy are going to be CGC cards.
Yeah, they are good value buys for sure.
Good value buys, which makes them worse sales. So yeah, I mean, naturally.
So the next question is, who is the better gambler? Basically, who lost more money in Vegas? I don't think
the dealer was the best blackjack player at the table.
Yeah, I don't think either of us did very good.
No. The dealer was the house one. With the whole crew we were with. There were times I was up, but I ended down. We had fun though, a lot of fun.
Oh, that was such a fun trip. But yeah, I don't think we'll be professional gamblers anytime soon.
Nope.
What type of Pokemon content are you guys sick and tired of seeing?
You're gonna skip who got drunk the fastest?
Oh, I missed that one. Who got drunk the fastest in Vegas?
I was in pretty good shape. I didn't get like out of control. I don't think Nick did either. That I think we both handled ourselves well and had a great time. So
yes. Well, you weren't there. That was the night before you had got there. Me and Zach were there. Gem Min Pokemon, and that night was a rough one. So I was kind of taming it down a little bit after that night.
Neither of us are lightweights. We can both hold our booze, so we did well.
Oh yeah. We had a good time. What type of Pokemon content are you guys sick and tired of seeing? I'm gonna be I don't know if I want to say it.
Say it.
I'm going to be very controversial here.
Uh-oh.
I am so happy that PokeNav is leaving YouTube and Pokemon. For anyone watching an hour in, I never liked him. He was 100% just into Pokemon for the hype train, and I am very glad he's leaving.
See, this one's hard for me to answer because like I watch content that I like. So like I'm just not even aware. If I start to watch something and I don't like it, I just go on to the next thing. There's plenty of stuff to watch. So I never watched a ton of PokeNavs. I watched some of his better sounding ones. His roundtables I really liked.
I'll give you that. I liked his roundtables.
Loved his roundtables. I actually was a part of one of his. I think this month he's doing some decent ones, but like I know he makes some of the best. I never watch a best modern investment video. I never watch it, no matter who makes it. If you make one, Nick, I'm probably not gonna. Maybe I'll watch it because it's you. But like, I just don't watch the content that I don't like. So it's hard for me to even say. Like, I'm not sick and tired of seeing anything I watch because that's why I keep watching it. I guess just to be broad though, because when I see it, I intentionally veer away. Best modern investments, anything like that. I guess I'm sick and tired of seeing it, so I click away.
And we are seeing less of those, luckily. Now that modern's kind of getting back to normal.
YouTube knows me so much now, so it like my home is always just the same stuff. But we've talked about it before, going down the rabbit hole where you go into a new browser, like an incognito browser, and you just search like Pokemon investing or best modern investments. And there's a whole different side of YouTube that I just never see because YouTube knows I don't like it. So I think we're very like our community, like we're fairly tight. Like you go into a live and you see a lot of the same names. Like we travel in each other's channels and we keep a fairly tight knit community. But Pokemon YouTube is a lot bigger. And we just don't see and experience a lot of it, I think.
Yeah, no, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
The worst Pokemon to ever exist. I'm gonna have to go with Trubbish on that one.
I was gonna say the garbage or the ice cream, just to pick on those ones. I'm not good at best worst, but I guess those are two of the worst.
I would also add Muck to that. Not a Muck fan.
I don't mind Muck. He's one of the OGs, right? Can't go wrong with. But yeah, I mean, I'm just not good at best worst, especially worst.
You're too easy to please.
Yeah.
The worst Pokemon artwork you've seen recently. I'm actually gonna another controversial answer here. The Galarian birds from Chilling Reign. I really don't like those.
Again, I'm bad at the worst ones, but I'll probably the Nagaba or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's just really different. It's not really for me, but I mean, I bought some because I think people like it. And it's interesting. It's different, but it's just not like to say it's the worst is harsh. I don't like hate it, but I don't hate any of them. So that one just stands out to me to pick it out.
The 9th question. Who wore blue better in this video? Talking about the previous video. I would have to say me, just because Dan just wore a plain blue t-shirt, and at least I wore a nice blue sweatshirt with Martha's Vineyard on it.
And I gotta say me here. I'm still wearing it. I can't remember if it was, this one actually does have writing on it. It's a Rangers shirt, New York Rangers. I don't remember. I show so little of myself that you don't see it, but I do have a plain blue one, that same shade. So it might have been my plain blue one. I don't know.
And then the last question here. If you could only have one card to keep in your collection, what would it be? Nick can't respond with no damage Ninetales. we talked about, someone asked this in the live stream that we did on Sunday. And my answer was not a card, but one of my booster packs that I have in my collection. It's the black, so unlimited base, you had the black triangle packs, which basically they stamped a first edition stamp onto unlimited base set booster packs, and instead of throwing those pack arts out, they just put a black triangle over those packs to ensure that nobody thought that they were first edition. Very few of those packs got the first edition stamp, but then missed the black triangle stamp over that first edition stamp, and those are actually my favorite packs. They just contain unlimited base set cards, but I think the story behind those packs is really, really cool. So that would be my favorite piece in my collection outside of my no damage Ninetales.
One is tough. I think we were asked something more broad and we were allowed to like pick more things, maybe, or maybe I just cheated and picked more. But because I think I said my whole childhood binder, which is just base Jungle Fossil Unlimited. I would pick either my base Charizard probably, because I remember how hyped I was to get that for Christmas, or my number 3 Pikachu. Value aside, I would probably lean towards the Charizard, but if like value is a consideration, then I would obviously pick the number 3 Pikachu.
That's the one you bought in DC, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
So those were all of John's questions. Now we got none of your bitchness question. nice name there. Why do you think that Logan bought cards from Scott? So last podcast we were talking about, or I had mentioned that I thought Logan Paul bought some of Scott's trophy cards. And to elaborate on that a little bit further, I think that because, so Logan Paul, I don't know the time frame of this, but Logan Paul announced that he made a really big purchase. And in addition to that, Scott, SM Pratt mentioned in a few of his Patreon videos that there's a deal coming up in the future that's going to blow away any previous deal that we've seen within Pokemon. And around the same time that he had mentioned that, he uploaded a video on his public YouTube channel showing all 9 Pikachu trophies. So like the original 97s and the half arts and the modern full arts, and connecting the dots there, doing my detective work. I just assumed why is Scott showing these cards now, and why does he have them all in his house now? So I think he sold those cards to Logan Paul, and he took those cards out of his safety deposit box or wherever he had them. He had those cards at his house before he either shipped them to Logan Paul or flew to Logan Paul to sell them to him. So that's where I got that theory from.
Yeah, and just to add further to that, in a recent Patreon, he talked about how somebody asked him why he doesn't do collaborations, why he doesn't come on podcasts like this one or collaborate with anybody. And he just said time. He gave his reasons why. And then he said something about how you might be seeing him pop up somewhere else. So it almost sounds as if in January, a video is going to come out on Logan Paul's channel featuring Scott and the cards that he sold to him. That's kind of the general consensus now.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to what that video is going to entail. I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I'm like a stakeholder too, given that I own the 1 through 4 full art set. Hopefully he got a lot of money for him.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice right there.
So my next question comes from Pokey Martin. What are your guys' most expensive sealed products you own, and what will convince you to sell them? Also, what is your favorite card / art that is under $1?
Ooh,
I do need to say too that he called you out on a typo on your business card. And at first I just thought he was joking because like school, old school.
I saw that comment. What is the typo?
So on the back, if you feel that there are any issues with your order, do not hesitate. But you wrote hesitant.
Oh, damn it.
To reach out anytime. So that whole video you did calling me out on my shipping, this guy, here's my thumbnail. I had it in focus a second ago. I'm going to clip that for the thumbnail. Do not hesitant to reach out.
Because I saw that comment and I grabbed one of my business cards and I looked it over. And I spent like a good minute looking every word over, and I still couldn't find that. I just read hesitant as, or whatever, hesitate as whatever.
So yeah, it wasn't misspelled. It was just, the improper word was chosen. So,
well, I removed the back portion of that business card, and I just reordered some new ones. So we got a nice QR code on the back now with a link to my link tree.
I'm gonna have to check. I wonder if I have any of the earlier editions. Have they always had that typo, or no?
Yeah, no, they'd always have that. Yeah. But there is one with my old logo, Ash and Pikachu.
Oh, that's right. I think I have that one.
It's got the same back to it.
I'm still so disorganized, and I'm gonna be for probably forever, if I'm being honest. But at some point, I'll turn up a little box or drawer or something of business cards I've acquired over the years.
I have started saving business cards since we talked about that.
I think it's a cool little memento.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I put that in really small font, so hopefully you wouldn't see it. But
I didn't even catch that. No.
I'll ask Pokey Martin's question now. Or actually, no, I already did, right? What's the most expensive sealed product you own, and what will convince you to sell them?
Oh, yeah.
Also, what's your favorite card art that is under $1? So it doesn't specify Pokemon, but I guess I'll give the Pokemon answer. Base first edition PSA 10 Charizard art booster pack. I do not own currently any WotC boxes or anything more valuable than that. That's in the several $1,000 range. But that is surpassed by my Kickstarter MetaZoo booster boxes.
Oh God.
Which are in the $8,000 to $9,000 range, a little bit ahead. So what would convince me to sell them? A pile of money. The lowest listed on eBay hit like 10 grand, and I almost put mine up for $99.99. And now I think it's back down. There's a couple in the 8K range. I feel like a clean like 12. And I'll sell it. Well, I have two, but I would sell one at 12, but I really don't want to. So if someone wants a Kickstarter box for like $3 grand more than you can get one on eBay, I'll sell it to you, and then I'll just buy that one on eBay. What's your favorite card / art that's under $1? I really like the full art Pikachu from Celebrations. I like that card. I picked up a bunch of them. I think I picked up 100 of them for like $75. So I'll pick that one. I don't know if it's I'm bad with favorites and least favorites. So that's a recent favorite that comes to mind for under $1.
That's a good one. My sealed product that's worth the most. I really don't know the value of it. I would think it's going to be somewhere between like 10 and 15,000. My gold strip themed display cases. Those are super niche though, so not a whole lot of people are looking for those. But I would think it would be worth there. But so that would be my most expensive sealed product for me. I don't have any WotC booster boxes either. I had 3. Luckily sold them off when I did, because base unlimited boxes have come way down.
Yeah.
But as far as the other portion of the question, favorite dollar card. I wish I had thought of the Celebrations Pikachu before you did, because that would have been it for me. But
you can take it too. I mean, I can share.
Okay, well, we'll share that one. Couple dollars. If we increase it to a couple dollars, I would go with the Greninja Gold Star.
Me too. If we went to $3, I would say that for sure. I like that one a lot.
Okay. Well, let me find the questions here. So, my next question is from Scott R. He asks, hold on one second. So,
Getting
he
those
asks,
timestamps.
I almost forgot to write the time down. Aside from selling individual packs, where are some good opportunities to flip cards for cash flow in the current market? Japanese promo cards, certain singles, breaking collection boxes. So I would say in the current market, if you're talking like modern product, I don't think that's very profitable anymore. It might be a little bit profitable right now, but I think it's just going to continue to get worse and worse as time goes on. So for me with the current market, I think the best opportunity is within people selling their collections, buying collections and then turning around and selling the individual cards, or grading certain higher end cards that are in good condition and selling those. There's a lot of people on Facebook right now looking to sell collections, and there's actually not as many people buying those collections. So they're available on Facebook for longer periods of time, which is nice to get some good deals. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I agree on a lot of that. It's tough. You didn't really mention like a level of capital right now. I think my 2021 year in review is basically just buying ill-advised group lots on Heritage and Golden and then reselling them individually on eBay. And then that one collection that I bought with the ugly PSA 8 Charizard, I bought on eBay and flipped on eBay. So Pokemon is just massive. Every day there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of cards and collections transacting, oftentimes at a discount. And buying auctions, selling as buy it now is generally speaking. But yeah, there's just not like one general thing. It's depending on the day, a lot of times the auctions are where a lot of the opportunities are, or like Facebook, more limited marketplaces, Facebook, Golden, Heritage. That's really it.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot with Facebook recently. Or not recently, because recently I haven't been buying too much, but in the past, Facebook.
I've been buying so much recently. Too much.
No, I'm trying to get caught up on what I have before I get back to buying. So my next question comes from Mac Attack. I'm a small collector on a limited budget, so I can't access WotC right now. But do you think with the exposure of Pokemon, it will be a lot harder to find the next hidden gem? Surely collectors have to look to modern despite abundancy due to new generations growing up with it. So yeah, I do think finding the next hidden gem or the next thing that's going to take off is more difficult than it was in the past, because there are more people in the hobby now who are doing the exact same thing, looking for that next big thing that's going to take off. So instead of having a few people going after those certain cards or those certain items, you have a lot more people going after those same cards. But I do think in the long term there are some still valuable options. Like with modern, there's a ton of people going after those Greninja Gold Stars. Dan and I were talking about this the other day, but I do think in the long term those are going to be solid cards to purchase. But you're talking the very long term, 5 to 10 years from now. I think right now $3 to $5 for those cards. I think you could easily see those cards doubling in the future to $10 a piece. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities at all. And there's a ton of people who are buying those cards up right now. So yeah, I think there's still decent opportunity out there is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, the hidden gem thing, I just worry the question is coming up from a place of I want to find a card that's going to 10x or 100x. I never really look for those. Last year, everything was that accidentally. I had a lot of inventory and everything 10x, so I did well on accident. I think just take what's there. If you get too hung up looking for like the absolute, I'm not sure how many of those even exist, and it doesn't seem like anyone can ever forecast that. So I just take what's there, take the good buys. I mean, there's certain things out there that just feel like they're hidden in plain sight to an extent, like the Greninja Gold Stars. I guess the last real good example of what, and this was a while ago, this was a couple years ago now, but these, like I have so many of these graded already, and I have so many still at PSA. I just picked up a bunch more raw though, because the disconnect, they're going for like, I can buy mint sets of the 3 easy ones, Psyduck, Eevee, Rowlet for like $200. And I'm selling PSA 9s of individual ones for 100 something each. And some of these are going to hit 10s. And Eevee's a $400 10, Psyduck's a $500+ 10. Like it feels too obvious, too easy. But I'm still doing it, and I'm sure other people are too. It's not even a hidden gem; it's just a gem. I don't know. So yeah, I do what I can plainly see, and occasionally I luck into like these. I bought these back when it was $20 for the 3 of them, and today I'm buying them when it's $200 for the 3 of them. Back then I figured it was a good buy, and it turned into be an amazing one. I got kind of lucky there with how well it worked out, but I don't think Greninja is going to do that. But I'm buying a bunch of Greninjas at $3, $3.50, because it's just, I love the card. And I think someday people will pay a little bit of a premium to have that in a nice PSA 9 or PSA 10 slab.
I think that's the biggest thing though, is don't just be looking for what you think is going to be the next big thing. Look for what you personally enjoy. You got to have that. You got to actually like it yourself before you can buy a whole bunch of them and sit on them. And then a few of those buys you more or less just get lucky on.
Yeah,
is what it comes down to.
So next question comes from Omega Yen. How many slabs, PSA, CGC, BGS, whatever, do you think is too many for one collector that you might question their sanity / health? 500, 1,000, 10,000? Some people blow my mind with how many slabs they have. I have a lot in my inventory. I have thousands right now, and it's a lot. They're not even all stored in one place, but like it's a lot to manage and it's a lot to store. So for someone to like as a collection, 1,000 is a lot. 1,000 is a real lot. When I fully assembled the WotC PSA 9 collection that I intended to just kind of hold forever, that was 370 different holos, basically every WotC set in first edition. That was too much for me to have in my house, so I sent them all to the vault. And now I've sold a bunch of, not a bunch, but I sold the Shadowless, I sold the base Unlimited, I sold the base 99 2000. So it's like 50. And then I've been in the process of selling them out of my vault, buying them in CGC. But yeah, like that was unwieldy. That was too much to have for me personally. Like I want to consolidate my collection down to like 50 or 100 so that I can actually see and enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
But the prices are so high on the cards that I want that I can't even. I've got to keep them at the vault or at a safe deposit box. So I'm like, I have a lot of slabs and I sell a lot of them, But I'm like, as a collector for my own collection, I'm really negative towards slabs. And I just think the market, like, I'll service the demand, I'll sell to the demand, but I think people just have a crazy, crazy premium on these plastic tombs. What do
Yeah.
you think? What's too many?
Um, I would say a couple hundred is fine. 1,000 is kind of pushing it.
And I got just to finish up my like to that's all for me. Like if you have 10,000 and you want 50,000, that's great.
Oh
Get
yeah, yeah.
50,000. Get 100. Like I'm not trying to like you're insane, you're crazy, you're like that's the way the question was posed. Like I'm not questioning anyone's sanity. It's just not for me. Do you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. So I would say getting over 1,000, 2,000. That's pushing it. Just because it becomes too hard to like view everything and remember what you have. Um, I never had more than a couple hundred cards in my eBay inventory until recently, and now I have probably about 2,000, and even that is it's tough to manage of like keeping track of which card is in which box.
Mm.
Um, so to have all that in your personal collection would be really tough to manage. I don't know how people do that, but um, I also have a ton of shadowless cards just sitting around, and people think I'm crazy for that as well. So it's just a personal preference. But that's what I would say on that one. So my next question is also from Mac Attack, and just gonna write this down again. So his second question is, what are your thoughts on the value of binder sets? Do you think a master set holds any premium, and if that then outweighs the cost of putting a set together by buying singles? Obviously set and size dependent. So I actually think that I personally don't sell complete sets. So if I buy a complete unlimited base set, I'll take all those cards out and sell them as individual cards, because I don't think you get a premium on having a complete set. I think it's the complete opposite. I think people are buying complete sets at a discount. Um, that's kind of my quick answer on that one. I don't know if you have any elaboration on that.
100% agree. As I said, 2021 was the year of buying big collections as a whole that people shouldn't have lumped together and then just reselling them as singles. I think 99% of things should be sold as one single card. The more things you lump in, the higher price threshold you make it, the more buyers you like get rid of. I mean, anybody who wants a master set, like how many people just want a master set of something and don't have a singular card from that? Most people have some progress towards it. So if you're trying to sell an entire master set, you need to find the right buyer who has all the money to buy it all at once, which is a hurdle. And then you need to find somebody who's either willing to sell off the portion that they already have. And there's so many collectors out there that never sell anything. Or they need to not have anything and just, yeah, have all the capital and be willing to buy it all at once. Set premiums is just 99% of the time not going to be a thing. That's my general thought too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Do you want to do? I think we each have one more question.
Oh yeah, I can go to mine
So if
then.
you want to do you want to do yours.
So Cameron G asks, I'm sure your eBay store has different levels of fees to a normal eBay account. I have a card that is more expensive than the usual items I sell, and I'm wondering if it is worth to wait for the discounted seller's fees or just to bite the bullet and take the 13% fees or whatever it is. Just curious as to your thoughts on it. I'm bad with this. with a store, our final value fees are capped at 350, I believe, right?
I think that's it.
And I think if you're not a store, I think they're capped at 750. So you didn't give like a dollar amount here, but say you have a $10,000 card. Get a store. Like literally just pay for 1 or 2 months of a store to sell that card, because you can get a basic store, which I believe maybe you'll have to pay for the premium store $60 a month instead of the 20. Not positive, but look into it. If you can pay 20 or $60 for 1 month to sell a card and save 400 on the fees, that's clearly worth it.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, generally speaking, I actually pulled it up before we recorded. I think for the category that like graded cards sell in, I think the base fee is 12.35%, but then we pay like 11.7 having the premium store. So we do save like 0.6% across the board.
Now, is that
on lower value stuff?
Is that for having the store, or is that being a top rated seller?
I don't even know. So I'm bad with like some people, eBay, they charge too much, blah, blah, blah. I'm thankful that they exist and that they only charge what they charge, because eBay is awesome. I probably should know better exactly what percent I'm paying them and all that, but I'm happy to pay it. Like, it works out well.
Yeah, I forget if we get a discount for having a store. I forget. It might be because we're top rated sellers that we get that discount. But yeah, I forget on that one. But yeah, I would definitely agree. If you're just, I always, before eBay started allowing everyone to have basically an unlimited amount of free listings, I would basically calculate what eBay store level is best for me based off of the amount of money that I would save. So like I started out as a basic store when I would save more money than it would cost me to upgrade to a premium store. I would do that. I was getting into thinking about upgrading to an anchor store, but then they increased the number of listing limits on a premium store, so that thought just kind of went away. But just look and see what would save you the most money. I forget the website, but if you type in eBay calculator 2021 or pretty soon 2022 into Google, the first link there is going to be an eBay calculator, basically giving you your fees. Just hop onto that, play around with it, see what the fees would be if you had an eBay store versus not an eBay store, if you were a top rated seller versus not a top rated seller, stuff like that. And just do whatever option is cheapest, where you save the most money. My final question is from Celebi Collectibles. He asked, we were talking on Instagram the other day and talking about how much stuff that we have to do. And so his question for this week was, how do we prioritize everything that we have going on for our businesses? And so my answer would be, I'm terrible at prioritizing. I do prioritize occasionally. So like, I always start my day off basically dealing with customers. So package all my orders, answer all my emails, answer all the best offers, stuff like that. That's obviously the most important aspect of running a business. So I always start my morning off by taking care of all that stuff. But outside of that, it just depends upon what I'm feeling for the day. Some days I'm in the mood to sort through bulk cards, so I'll do that. Other days I don't want to do that, so maybe I'll take pictures. Some days I'll make eBay listings. It really just depends. I don't really have a set like do this, then this, then this. It just varies day to day. And we were also talking about how it's probably best to prioritize like high value cards versus low value cards. And even that, I really don't do that. I do that on more occasionally than not, is if I have something that's worth a lot of money, I'll be more apt to get that list on eBay versus something that's just a typical bulk card. But even then, there's some days where I just don't want to list on eBay, so I won't list that card. Instead, I'll sort through 99-cent cards. So it just depends for me. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the way I tend to think about it is, as a business, getting money into the bank has got to be priority number one, right? I mean, staying cash positive, and the short-term way you do that is sales that have already been made, get them out the door. So like priority number one, and I only do it, so not every day, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday, step one is get the shipments out the door. I already have their money. They need their item. If I don't get it to them, it's going to be a big hassle. So shipments outgoing needs to be done. That's like the immediate short term. Midterm on that same front is like listing things. Generally speaking, I'm overrun by product. So I want to get rid of it. The only way I can get rid of it is to have it listed so that somebody will buy it. So like number two, after I've gotten everything out the door that's already been bought, I need to create new listings, and so then they can be shipped out the door when someone buys them. Whether that's sorting through bulk, figuring out what needs to be graded. Like sometimes it's just taking my slabs and listing them, because I'm over 1,000 behind still. I've been saying that for like months, and I get new subs in and I hardly get anything listed, and it's crazy. But the value thing you touched on, if I get a small express sub, it jumps to the front of the queue. If I've got $1,000 cards, it takes me the same amount of time to list a card that's $1,000 as it does to list one that's $15. So yeah, value jumps right to the head of the queue. And then like the longer term thing, it's a foreign concept to me, but like running out of things to sell would be bad. I'm so far away from it that I should like stop buying altogether, but I don't. I like buying. I like getting new things and hunting for deals. And so like right now, looking for new inventory, sourcing through Heritage, Golden, eBay, Facebook, wherever. That should be my last priority by far. I probably shouldn't be doing any of it, but I do more of it than I should. So when like the lowest tier priority thing is like getting new stuff in, yet I do that like sometimes at seemingly the highest priority. And that's why I'm overrun. So my focus for early 2022 really needs to shift on priority one, keep up with orders. Priority two, get everything listed. Priority three, everything that I'm not going to list myself, bulk it out, send it to Evo, wherever. And then priority four, but it'll really be priority one, buy new things to keep an inventory like sustained over time.
I've been proud of myself. I'm doing good not buying collections for resale. I've told myself this multiple times in the past that I want to stop buying completely until I get caught up on everything that I already have, and it's never worked out. But I'm gonna try that again. I haven't bought a collection in probably about a month now, so I am super proud of myself for that.
I got a nice one off Instagram recently.
There we go.
These Game Boy promos I've actually never really owned graded.
I've had the Dragonite and the Venusaur. Never the Mewtwo or the Lugia.
But yeah, I can't stop. It's a problem. And then I guess I didn't cover it. So I just basically covered buying, selling, managing inventory. But like there's administrative tasks that have firm deadlines, like doing taxes. I don't know how it works. Selby's in the EU. But sometime between the first of the year and April 15th, ideally by like the end of mid-February. I like to get it all together because we get our 1099s, W-2s, all that stuff. Businesses' deadlines are like the end of January to get that to us.
Mm-hmm.
So then I take all that and I put all my stuff together for my accountant and I ship that off to them mid-February. I try to. So that's like it's not an always going thing, but like when certain administrative tasks pop up, they are priority one because you like taxes, penalties, and or like jail if you ignore it long enough. So I guess I should cover that too.
Yeah, I was doing so good with my monthly breakdowns. I've that's gone down. Way down the priority list.
Yeah, I've actually been good, but maybe it's bad because I'm using it to like procrastinate what I should be doing. But like I've been good on my schedule of podcast week. I do Monday, Thursday, and then non-podcast week. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've been proud of myself with how well I've kept up. The thing is, though, that's where I'm at, where I am, with over 1,000 cards backlogged to list.
Mm-hmm.
Because mostly what I'm hey, look at what I bought. Like to start January off, I have so many buys to show, which then need to be photographed and listed. And then when they are bought, they need to be shipped. So like I have too much to show on YouTube that I want to show and talk about. And that's where I'm at.
See, that's why you haven't seen part 2 of my CGC return. Because I've just given up and said I just want to get these things listed on eBay. I don't care about showing anyone.
Yeah, I haven't had a return. It's been like a month, which isn't that long of a time, but for me, like I've been just rapid fire getting returns all year, it feels like. So it's been a lull, but like massive heritage buys, some Instagram buys. I bought all these packs for Troll and Toad. I've got a backlog of like MetaZoo stuff I need to open and organize and a lot of stuff. Too much.
It's never ending.
Nope. Never.
Well, that actually covers the questions that we had for this week.
Ooh, that was a lot.
That was a lot of questions. We did almost hour and 40 minutes of questions.
Not too bad.
No,
the only note I had, and we talked about it a little bit in the middle there, was PSA is now open to the public at 100 a card. That'll be another video for next week. I did put together eight at the 100 and then 5 that I got through the lottery for 50 a piece. I had a couple like staff vivid voltage. I actually.
Are we gonna get a sneak peek of your video for next week?
Well, I had more of these than I realized. So these are like the normal ones that have one of each of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 of the error ones that have an extra Lugia.
Ooh.
But I had 3 of these, so I cracked 2 of them, and I'm sending the Charizard and Lugia, Snorlax and Donphin. I'll just send 2 years down the line or something. But
yeah.
So I sent those. I sent a little bit of MetaZoo. There'll be a video next week of what exactly went out. I almost sent some Fortnite, but they didn't quite make the cut. 100 a card, 50 a card even is a lot. It's so hard. It's so hard and it's so frustrating. I still have thousands of cards at PSA that have been there over a year that I paid less than $10 a piece on. And now I'm literally paying $50 to $100 a card to skip them and to push them back further. Like every card I send, I'm contributing to my cards taking longer. It's just so frustrating.
That is true. Yeah, I gotta get mine ready. I'm gonna do the 5 at 50, and then I'll probably do another 5 or 10 at the $100 tier myself. Um, but
I
I
was
gotta get those ready to send off.
I was pleasantly surprised with I forgot how many grading orders I prepaid. Like I was waiting to get hit with I'm still going to get hit with tens and tens of thousands of dollars of grading fees. But I prepaid for more of those than I realized. I was looking back
That's
at my
nice.
records and I did have a column where I put like prepaid or not. And I had prepaid tens of thousands of dollars of, so it was in hindsight, it's like I tied up a lot of money for a long time, but now I don't have to, like, I was kind of prepared to pay. I mean, you can do the math. I had 5,000, 6,000 cards at PSA. That's 50 grand at 750 a piece,
Mm-hmm.
$10 a piece. But yeah, at some point, more of those are going to be hitting some big bills for grading. So
Nice, nice. You got some of the. At least you paid off some of the money there.
yeah,
That's a nice little bonus right there.
yeah, yeah. I still have. I'm looking at my spreadsheet. I might have everything back from CGC already. I think,
I wonder why your big submission was broken up and mine wasn't.
yeah, because I have here noted I sent like 1,300 cards. I thought I might have forgot to put one down, like 1,000 card submission. I don't know, because I put 500 that was primarily like the McDonald's ones, and I have those back. And I like the quality on those was so great. I got so many 9.5s, more than any other submission.
That's
Um,
nice.
so I don't regret sending out my McDonald's cards. They did well. But yeah, I got back. I put that 800 I sent at once, and those came back because that was mostly jungle and fossil non-hollows. And
That
I
might
don't
have been
have.
part of your big submission. Because I know we were talking about how I was smitten the Shadowless, Jungle Fossil, and you said you were smitten Jungle Fossil, Team Rocket.
When did yours go out? April?
It was right before they increased their pricing.
Was that April or no?
I think it was either March or April.
I don't even know. I need
Maybe
to.
tomorrow you'll get 10 boxes of CGC cards in the mail,
I hope
and you'll
not.
know for certain.
I have some nice PSA returns like next up in my queue, so hopefully those come back soon. I'm excited for those. Some good mixes.
Yeah, I can't wait to start getting some of my PSA returns back. I got a one for December, January, and February. So I got three there.
It looks like I have one left for October.
Oh god, I'm never gonna get mine.
Two for November, two for December, two for January. February, I wrote something down, but I didn't even put a description for what was in it. So I don't know. I don't know what that is. Um, one more in February, and then I don't think I did any in March because that was when they had doubled. I definitely didn't do $20 PSA bulk.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I did a big one in February and then none in March because it was the $20 a card.
Looks like I just did 200 in February. Not too bad. I wish I'd done more though.
It's okay. We still got a ways to go before we see those again.
Yeah. Yeah, they're putting 80% of the workforce capacity onto the backlog. Sometime mid next year, hopefully, they'll catch up. Which means anything you sent out in February or March will be coming back like 15 months after you sent it or so. 16.
That's crazy.
I'm already at 14 months though on my October, so we're already kind of there. It's it's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get those submissions back and actually remember what you submitted.
Yeah, I took pictures, grainy, at a distance, 500 cards. Like you can see that. You can see a millimeter of each card. You don't even know what's in there. I didn't fan them out too well.
Exactly. Oh. Well, that's all I got for this episode.
That's all I've got for the rest of this year.
Yeah. Oh, you took my joke. I was gonna say that's the last you guys will see of us this year. Because yeah, by the time you guys watch this, it'll be December 30th, and then we have December 31st, and then January.
Yeah, definitely 2021 closing the book on another crazy year. I think 2022 is going to be crazy as well. Obviously, like I'm talking global situations that are going on. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get a 2022 Worlds.
It's not sounding that way.
We kind of talked about that in the live, but it's going to be another year like that. But Pokemon's crazy. We're back to sub $100 boxes. I think we had made. I never went back. I kind of wanted to go back. I think I estimated that $100 a card would be open by year end.
Oh, I think we did say that.
I think we were both on the same page with that, and I think very early on in our channel that I hypothesized that modern product would become available at distributors again, and it would be on eBay for under $100 a box, generally speaking, for most new sets. And like Evolving Skies is borderline. Fusion Strike is still a little above 100, I think, but we're mostly there.
Yeah.
I've actually been buying some Chilling Reign and Battle Styles recently. 8% eBay bucks came up the other day. I maxed out my eBay bucks. I spent like $6,000 because eBay bucks, you used to get a flat 1% on everything, and then you'd get the promotions all the time. And I get 500 every quarter easily. But like I must have hit, I think I had $30 eBay bucks for this quarter so far. And then that 8% hit. And I charged like I did like $6,000 because I was able to get Chilling Reign cases. I got per box after eBay bucks and credit card rewards, like 72 a box. My distributor, they're 86.50. So I got like 24 boxes of Chilling Reign and Battle Styles, I believe. Just to set back. I'm not gonna flip them and make $1 a piece. I'm just gonna set them back for now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got tons of XY packs to just restock my inventory because I was getting light on some of those. But yeah,
yeah, there hasn't been a eBay bucks promotion in forever, it seems.
Yeah, that did you get the 8% or no?
Yeah, I did get that one. Yep.
I bought like a few months worth of shipping supplies too. I spent like $500 to $1,000 on bubble mailers and thermal labels and just things I needed anyways.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I hit my $500 for the next 2 days, and then I'll get a fresh slate.
There we go.
I'll have a $500 eBay buck coupon to use.
Be able to buy more Chilling Reign and Battle Styles.
Yeah, I'll probably get another couple cases. But yeah, 2022 should be interesting.
It will be. Yeah, I was thinking about going back through, like what you were saying, going back through the podcasts and doing taking like little clips of each one and kind of putting those together. It's like a best moments of 21 with the podcast. But then I thought how much work that would be and said, I don't think so.
A massive amount of work.
I have all these really cool YouTube video ideas, but I have no desire to put in the work for those.
The bottom of the priority list.
That is the very bottom of the priority list.
I have a lot of ideas and we'll see how many I do or have time to do, but I want to do like some because I haven't even been on YouTube a year. I did a lot of cool and interesting stuff before I got on YouTube, and I kind of want to like flash back to some of the best buys I ever made, some of the worst buys I ever made, best sales, worst sales. So like I don't like the best investment of 2021, but I might do my best investments like in hindsight. Actually, like what did I buy that went up the most? What did I buy that went down the most? What did I sell that I wish I could take back because it 10x after I sold it? Or so
Yep.
I might do some like recap / highlight videos like that.
Those would be cool.
Yeah, and then I love your monthly videos that you stopped giving us. I might do like I might do like clickbait, but not because I'll just actually show you and tell you the real numbers. I might do like I spent this much money on Pokemon in 2021.
That would be cool. I would like to know that number.
It would be. I'm not sure if I am going to share though. We'll see. Maybe we'll see.
You might want to block your wife from your YouTube channel before you upload that one.
Yeah. I thought about doing I bought this much or I sold this much, doing one or the other, but then it's like, why not? I mean, I don't know. I've got to put the numbers together for taxes anyways, so I'm gonna have it. It would make good content, but that's also sharing a lot too. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do mine. I'm gonna skip December, but I'm gonna try and do like a yearly one in January, and then hopefully get back to a monthly in January too, or starting in February, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of like it, but it's a lot to share too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, don't feel pressured. It's just
I might just do
all of our fans would love to see it.
I might do the buying side. We'll see. I haven't started I already started putting together the selling side. But I haven't started putting together the buying side. That's easier to put together though, too, I think, the buying side.
No way. Selling side's way easier.
I'm doing like crypto and stuff, but I guess I'm buying with crypto though too.
Oh, see, yeah, that makes it more difficult.
Because it all flows through my bank account and it all flows through my credit card and or bank account. But I guess the bank account is the ultimate. Because whether or not it's crypto still starts as I do a transfer into my crypto account, transfer that as whatever crypto I'm using, and then. But yeah, there are a lot of. I mean, I have PWCC, I have Troll and Toad. I buy from eBay. I buy direct on Instagram through PayPal. I bought a couple things by check or wire transfer. At the end of the day, though, that all does come through the bank account, but it's still all over the place.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely takes some time getting all those numbers. It's a pain in the butt.
But yeah, I think I'll probably do that. I'll probably do the buy video and not the sales, but
there we go. I like it. We're getting something. And then by the end
yeah.
of 2022, then we'll get the sales.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know if there'll be any desire for it, or I think it would perform really poorly, but something I'm really into is like finance. I kind of want to almost get into the how I'm lessening my tax burden by using a solo 401k, but I don't think people want to hear that.
I think that's getting too deep. That would be good for like people like us, But how many people like us are there watching these videos?
Yeah, I don't know. Not enough, probably. Someday maybe I'll have a separate YouTube just for finance type stuff, general finance type stuff, and because I'm really into it. But people just want to hear what's the best modern Pokemon investment of 2021 and how can I 10x my money and but yeah, I think we're at 2 hours now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, we got 30 seconds.
Uh-oh.
Think of something to talk about.
We better wrap up quick. It's gonna take us 3 minutes to wrap up.
Yeah. Well, as always, was a fun time talking. Hopefully, everyone who's still watching this far has a happy new year and goes into 2020 feeling great. And we will see you in the new year.
2 weeks from now, as always, wish you a happy, healthy new year, and we will catch you all later.